The James Show Podcast.
A sad start to the show here because we got an update about 4 hours ago from the sheriff's department, and then another update. I guess that was right at 50 minutes ago. Well, it was right after 1 o'clock. So about an hour ago. I'll get you all caught up on that, but it's not very good news. First, the summary from this morning. This was on Fox News.
Appreciate it.
All right, back to the very latest news on the search for Nancy Guthrie, where the Pima County Sheriff's Office is confirming that all members of the Guthrie family are cleared as suspects. It comes as Sheriff Chris Nanos tells the Daily Mail that he is stuck on a motive for the abductor, saying, quote, "The motivation for it is where we get stuck, right? Is it for money? I mean, we had the one demand where they asked for money, but is it really for money or is it for revenge? For something." Forensic psychologist Dr. John Delatorre joins me now.
All right, so that's all we had this morning. The update from about an hour ago is that the DNA on the glove that was 2 miles away from the house that they found that looked like the black glove that was in the video, no match. No match. So the DNA was submitted to what's called CODIS, C-O-D-I-S. That's the big national database that has people reporting different numbers on this. 22 million profiles. Another outlet reported 99 million profiles. Regardless, it's the biggest national database we have tracking DNA that the FBI has access to, I imagine. But 22 million profiles, got nada. So this is a guy who hasn't been in trouble before and had his DNA put into the bases. All that really narrows it down to. The only other narrow down the sheriff has given us is they've ruled out everyone in the family. Really? Okay. So detectives they're still doing the pacemaker search. They're also working with Walmart management because they're pretty sure they know what the backpack is. It was like a 25-liter Ozark, whatever. We measure backpacks in liters. I thought this was America. Can't we measure it in like gallons or quarts or something? We have to do liters. Want a liter of cola? So, tough update. Walmart is, what are they going to do? Track all the bag purchases, cross-references with all the debit cards that were used there. And then you take all the people that paid in cash and you have to put them in a side list. Then what are you going to do? Are you going to comb through all of the surveillance video when these backpacks were bought to see if it matches this guy's 5'9" or 5'10" and has the same build as Home Skillet and the creepy camera? We're in long shot territory, and I really hope that they have a lot of info that they're just not sharing with us, and they're a lot closer than they're letting on, because it doesn't sound like they're close at all. Also, if that doesn't mean that the person who did the kidnapping isn't a bad guy, even if that is his glove. Because, pros might not be in the system. That's unsettling. If they were working for a foreign cartel and they just came up here, snatched her, and went back to Mexico, might not be in the system either. So I don't even think we've narrowed it down on whether or not this is a professional job or just a sloppy amateur. The only other thing we're waiting on is there were 2 search warrants that were executed last week, and we haven't heard anything about the evidence except that it's still being processed. And the only reason I bring that up is that they were asked about it. Oh, no, that evidence is still being processed. How long does it take? So the Pima County Sheriff's Department can't even tell you if they have any leads, the number of leads, or maybe the number 0. They're just not saying anything about leads. We have nothing on that at this time. Well, do you have nothing or do you have nothing on that? Because it's starting to sound like the Big Lebowski over here.
Man, are you going to find these guys? Or, you got any promising leads or...
Leads? Yeah, sure. I'll just check with the boys down at the crime lab. They got 4 more detectives working on the case. They got us working in shifts. Leads.
So we don't have any press briefing scheduled. I don't know when we're going to get another update. The sheriff said he's all booked up for interviews today. So is he talking to the media or not? Well, he's not doing anything public where he's going to be taking questions at a press conference podium. He will not be holding media availability tomorrow. So the only thing we have to go on is they said media will be notified via the Pima Sheriff's X account. That's where we stand on that. So the best guess is what? She's in Mexico. 800-288-9227 if you have any help on that one. 800-288-9227. All right, coming up next, my first guest is going to give us a little more insight on that from a professional or local background. It's David Kelly from our sister station, KCUB. He's actually just a few miles away from where that happened. And also, the Parker Pour is coming up this week. We are 2 days away from the next of our monthly meetups. It's going to be at the Whiskey and Rye Bar, Fort Worth, Omni Fort Worth Hotel. Come on down to the lobby bar. I'll be doing a live show from 2 to 5, so you can come hang out, see the show as it happens. It's not like real magical or anything. You know, there's no dancing girls. I don't juggle on the breaks and do anything entertaining. It's just me with reading glasses on a laptop for most of it. But you can hang out, see how the sausage is made, judge me based on my appearance. And then afterwards, we're going to have a happy hour from 5 to 7. And I'm also going to be hosting trivia. We're going to do 2 rounds of trivia. I thought that'd be a fun way to get you to stick around and hang out and have some fun and not just stare at me like, now what? I don't know. So I'm doing 1 round at 5:30 for the people who are already there, or for the people who work around the corner and they get off at 5. You can run over there real quick because it's downtown Fort Worth. I know we have a lot of listeners in downtown Fort Worth. I've seen you, because we did it last month. And then I'm doing another round of trivia at 6:30. So if you got to get off and drive in from Denton or, I don't know, Corinth or Addison, who knows? I'm doing another round at 6:30. We'll have prizes for both. But come on out. It's a good time. It's a great bar. It's a nice, clean, well-lit place that doesn't have dirty, sticky floors and a bunch of 21-year-old kids. It's the Whiskey and Rye Bar, the Parker's Pour, coming up this Thursday. I'll be there from 2 until at least 7 or so. So come on out and say hi. My next guest, David Kelly, coming back on the James Show. And he's from our sister station, KCUB in Tucson, and just miles from where all this action is happening. Or should I say, David, a lack of action?
Well, it was actually kind of a little bit of a busy weekend. Rare rain on Friday night, and that's when there was a lot of drama at a second location about 2 miles east of where Nancy Guthrie lives. A lot of police presence that had all the reporters on the ground running to find out what happened. A traffic stop at a Culver's that had a lot of people scrambling to figure out what happened. But again, nothing seemed to have come out of either of those 2 instances, or at least nothing that the sheriff's office is saying came out of those 2 instances. We do have obviously some new news today, and that they had found a glove in one of their searches, and that glove has come up with no new DNA evidence or new DNA evidence connecting anyone or connected to the house, or is what I'm hearing in terms of that is concerned. So yeah, it's piece by piece by piece as the law enforcement, FBI, and Pima County sheriffs continue this investigation.
Yeah, so the glove not being in the records, is that what cleared the rest of the family, or do we know?
I think that may be part of it, but I'm not saying that that's the only thing that cleared the family. Obviously, we all know that anytime you have instances like this, the first thing that law enforcement is going to look at is the family. So they were looking at everyone surrounding Nancy Guthrie from day one. But I'm not told that that's solely the reason that the family was cleared.
Well, David, do we know why they cleared the son-in-law? He was the last one to see her, and in any kind of disappearance or suspicion of foul play, you should probably look at the son-in-law first.
Right. Yeah. We have not been told anything in terms of, all Sheriff Nanos, who's begun doing some one-on-one and interviews over the course of the weekend. All he said was that the family was cleared. He did not give any information as to why they were cleared. No.
Yeah. Well, if my mother-in-law comes up missing and the cops stop by and they're like, hey, did you kill your mother-in-law? I would say no, but that's a very good guess. You were right to start here first. Well, David Kelly, we don't have any notice or schedule of the next press availability or public statement. Are they just going quiet on us?
Well, again, like I think I said, they have. Sheriff Nanos has done some selected one-on-one interviews over the weekend. There hasn't been any formal gag for the entire. These have all been, it's not been a press conference setting. I don't know that we'll see anything in the press conference setting until there's something significant to report. But he has issued some select interviews to local media. In fact, he's talked to all of the local news stations here in town. He's talked to several of the national networks as well. But in terms of a large gaggle news conference, I don't know that we'll see anything like that moving forward until there's a significant break in this case.
David Kelly, what do you think happened?
That's hard to say. I mean, obviously this is a kidnapping because she's disappeared. But is it a kidnapping for ransom? I have a hard time believing that at this point, because unless they're just not giving us that part of the story, that they know that there's ransom and that they're dealing with that. I mean, it doesn't seem. I mean, if you look at all the tea leaves, it doesn't appear to be that kind of case based on the movement of the police over the course of the last week or so. So I just don't know that it's a ransom kidnapping case. I mean, there's kidnapping and then there's a ransom kidnapping case. I don't think that's what this is.
Yeah, I don't have a better guess than that. This is David Kelly. How do you tell the awesome listeners of the James Show how to find you online?
We are at David Kelly 1290. Again, mostly talking sports about our no longer number one basketball team. Thanks, Texas Tech, for that. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right, that David Kelly, KCUB in Tucson. I appreciate the heavy lifting, sir. Thank you.
Anytime, James. Thank you.
All right, let's go to Bobby in Brownwood. You're on WBAP. Your response, Bobby.
I don't think she left the house alive. I mean, you don't have to strong arm a 84-year-old person to get them to leave with you. I think she's been dumpstered, and I think she's in a landfill.
I can't argue with that. I can't, because that would explain so much. Why isn't there more of a focus on the ransom? Why isn't there some guy that's trying to get his money? There's some guy who wants money so bad he's going to kidnap an 84-year-old and try and keep her alive and go through all this, but he's not going to ask for the money. So then
and the blood on the front porch.
Let's say you're right, Bobby. What's the motive in that?
He might be a sick old person rapist. You never know.
Have we seen those before? An old person rapist?
I've heard of it.
Yeah. We don't understand the mind of any of those criminals, do we? What if it's just a robbery gone wrong? She tried to fight him. She got knocked in the head. Oh, crap, she's dead. I better get that body out of here.
I think the fight in an 84-year-old's been long gone for probably 20 years.
Right, but still, if you're an 84-year-old, that doesn't mean you're not going to get worked up in a panic or just be obstinate, when all the adrenaline's flowing. Or it could be a guy that just didn't want any witnesses, and so he took her out.
There's so much we don't know, like how he got in, that would help explain some of that to all our questions. But, because there's been no more contact, I'd try to get the money and get rid of the person as fast as I could to be done with it if I were involved. And it just seems to me that there's no answers.
All right.
Other than her being deceased.
I hear you, Bobby. All right, that's Bobby in Brownwood. Good call, Bob. My next guest is coming at you from News Nation. She's the law and justice contributor over at News Nation. Jennifer Coffindaffer, welcome to the James Show. It's your first appearance, so make it good. Now, we're having you on. Let's talk about what's going on with the latest in the Guthrie updates, because I feel like today's two updates, I feel like we've taken a step back, Jennifer. We don't even have a prime suspect. We're not even looking at the brother-in-law anymore. I think we know less about this case than we knew a week ago.
Well, I think the good news we have here is that we do have 40 possible suspects. And I know that sounds like a lot, but that's narrowed down from about 17 million that have the profile of the person on the front porch. So I like to look at it that way. We've got photos and names that are being run by gun shop owners, and I think that's promising.
So what are the suspects that you have? You said 40?
Correct. There's 40 names. Basically, investigators are going to different gun shops in the area and asking if those owners have seen or sold to those individuals. So that tells me they're narrowing down.
Well, it could be. I mean, if you got a gun from a gun shop in recent times, I figured it'd be more off the backpack purchase.
I agree with you. I think the Walmart situation could be really telling. Look, he's got a Walmart holster for $10. He's got a shirt that's sold at Walmart, and he's got a backpack that's only sold at Walmart. So definitely, if they can get those receipts and tie that all in, that's a huge clue.
Do we know what cleared the brother-in-law, Jennifer?
Well, I believe, from my understanding, is actually the family has been cleared for some time. The sheriff, of course, has been hemming and hawing every time he gets asked about it, but finally he's can't come down. I think a combination between passing a polygraph, likely a scrub of all social media, text messaging, etc., looking at Google searches, and just not being able to tie them in at all, an alibi that probably stood solid. So he's emphatic that they're cleared.
Well, I'm also getting kind of two answers depending on what day it is, because at one point they'll tell you that they think she's in Mexico, and then at the same time they're scanning the deserts in Arizona for her pacemaker, so they must not be too confident she's in Mexico.
Well, listen, those ransom notes are a bunch of rubbish. When you look at them, they came in 3 days late. They went to media sources. When they didn't get the play they wished on the local station, they sent it to TMZ. I fear that this is for no reason concerning getting money or getting Nancy back, but rather a play.
That's sad. All right. So what do you think this is? Do you think this is a kidnapping?
I think it's an abduction, straight up abduction, purposeful, but not for ransom, not for money.
What for? Do you have any clue? Can you even just baselessly speculate?
Well, I never like to baselessly speculate, but I will give you what I can see from the clues we have here. So with the family removed out of the picture, I always go for motive. If the family would have been involved, obviously you're looking at money, inheritance and life insurance. With them out of the picture, now you have to say, well, what is it now? Well, we don't have any serious ransom demand. What we do have is somebody, I think, that is maniacal, and this is a vicious, ruthless type of situation that is aimed at Savannah suffering, and then, of course, Nancy suffering as well.
All right. How do we find your work online, Jennifer Coffindaffer?
Coffindaffer, FBI. That's where you can find me on X. And then I also have Break the Case with Jen Coffindaffer, and we're covering this daily, morning reports.
Thank you very much, Jennifer Coffindaffer from News Nation. All right, the next Park Report is coming up 2 days from today, Thursday. I'm going to be doing the show live from the Whiskey and Rye Bar at the Omni Fort Worth Hotel. It's right across from the Convention Center downtown. So come on out. I'm going to do the live show, and then immediately, as soon as I get up from the folding table, we're going to do a happy hour, and then I'm setting up for trivia. Yeah, I'm going to entertain you a little bit. We're going to do a round of trivia at 5:30, another round of trivia at 6:30. If you can hang out for both, there will be a grand prize. If you can only hang out for one or the other session, there will be individual prizes for those. So if you're around the corner, second you get off work, come on over. All you people who work in downtown Fort Worth or somewhere close to that, come on by. If you're a little far away, as soon as you get off work, head that way, and you can be part of the second round that's happening at 6:30.
The James Show Podcast.